Hey, this is Dusty from Denison MTS. Just want to give a quick walkthrough of the new audio setup in the Bandersnatch that was installed on September 1st, 2017. So I'm going to walk you through the room as if you were coming in for the first time, powering everything up and so on. So a couple things you'll see. The old subwoofers are just here on the side of the floor. Those are totally busted as far as I know, but if you guys want to sell them or get them repaired, that's totally up to you. The new smaller powered subwoofers are right there on the bottom on each side of the stage. Your EV speakers hanging on the ceiling, your mains are all the same. You'll notice over here that the door is off the rack. That is on purpose because with the new Soundcraft mixer, that door won't close with these outputs going to your mains and your subs. So up at the top you have your power distributor like normal. Below that you have the line mixer like you had before, but what it controls is a little different. It's actually acting just as a sub mixer for plugging in a phone or an iPad or iPod or your radio tuner, and then the Extron system. So if you plug in a laptop or use the DVD player, that sort of thing. Below that you have your Extron control panel like normal, which will take care of your projector, switching between laptop sources and the DVD player. Below that you have actually a radio tuner, so like basically like a stereo to pick up local stations, like the Doob. That would be on there, but I don't think it's actually working. You may need to get that replaced if you want to use that. Below it, this bigger unit is the Soundcraft UI16. This is actually your mixer now. So this line in is actually what's coming from your sub mixer up there. So your phone, tuner, Extron. So basically that means that the way we have it set up is anybody that you want to come in and just have them turn on some music, but you don't want to give them access to the audio console, you can just by turning it on and then using these knobs as they're labeled. Below that you have your amp for your mains. There is no amp for the subs because they are self-powered down here on the ground. I just have my iPad plugged in for you right now just to give you an audio demo here in a second. Below are just some controlled pieces of the Extron system. You don't have to worry about those. And then obviously your DVD player with remote like normal. And then we also were able to get some costs down. We were able to secure you an iPad. I think we have a case coming for it. So this is registered with the logistics office over in IT with an asset tag. Quick note before I go any farther in this video, I do just need to let you know that I am going to share passwords with you over this. So if you are managing the Bandersnatch or whatever, make sure you be careful about who you're handing that sort of stuff out to. But even if that does get compromised, it shouldn't be too crazy. So let me walk you through a typical startup procedure. So the first thing you'll want to do, even before you touch the iPad, you'll want to turn on your rack power. And then the rack power is going to boot everything up. You'll see that there's green lights down here and a blue Wi-Fi light over here for the Soundcraft. And once those stop blinking, you know that that'll be all the way booted up and ready to start processing audio. There you go. And you'll hear that little click just because we don't have a sequencer for your front of house amp. Not a huge deal. I think that's how you guys have been doing it before. And then the next thing you'll want to do is actually, since the subs are powered, you need to turn those on themselves. So on the back, there are little blue switches and they glow when you turn it on. So you want to turn those on. And then just for reference, they do have a volume knob back here. I set them about halfway. Obviously, if you want more bass over your main signal, you're more than welcome to turn them up however you want. And then for someone who's not like coming in and like mixing live sound or anything like that, really all they need to do is select whatever source they want. So if they want to turn on the projector and watch a movie, or plug in their iPod or whatever, they could do that. So let's play some music here, Little Stones. And we're just going to turn up the phone or tablet. So it has a couple settings there. So you got signal coming in to the subs and to the mains. So you have subs are on the top, mains are on the bottom here. And then, I'll turn that down for now. Now the other thing that we have, you'll notice that with your old mixer, you know, you had all the knobs and stuff on top. Well, that isn't how this one works. It's actually nice because people can't come in and like mess with your settings or anything. So here's the first passcode I'm going to give you. The passcode for the iPad is 867530. I took that from that old 80s song 8675309, Jenny, Tommy Two Tone, so it should be decently easy to remember, and it's also the passcode for some other things. But this is set to get on the Wi-Fi hotspot of the mixer. So the mixer's not on the network. When you're connected to it, you can't get on the internet on the iPad or anything, but the iPad will connect to it. So the first thing you want to do is it should default Wi-Fi to the Soundcraft UI16. And then this is 740, the area code here in Licking County, 8675309. Join. And once that's on, it should remember it. I just recently set the passcode. Once you're on the Wi-Fi, all you got to do is hit this button that says sound. And then you'll notice that it's on, and it should keep you logged in because it remembers the device. If for whatever reason you touch it and it says locked, all you have to do is go to settings, access, and then you'll hit a login button. So that's really all there is to it. You can get out of settings. So we'll turn down the master volume. Now, the way that the tablet interface works is you'll always have your master volume on the right side. So you see if I pull the mixer left or right, I'll see my other inputs, but the master volume's always on the right. So as I'm scrolling to it, the line in, left and right, that's just the input from that little Shure line mixer. So if you need a little additional headroom for the DVD player or iPod or whatever you have plugged in, whatever you're running, you could do that there, and also by turning up the master volume. So that's all there is to that. Sorry for the cut in between videos, got a phone call. Okay, so you'll notice, like I said, your master volume's here. I went ahead and turned down the iPad for now. And you'll see all these other channels, channels 1 through 12, and then you see your line in. Then you also see what's called the player, left and right. So the player, left and right, is actually the fact that this console has a USB input. So if you had like a flash drive full of MP3s or something you want to play, you could actually just plug it in there and you could control it from the iPad. And then also if you ever wanted to record something in here, as long as it's, you know, coming through the console, you could do that here. And then here are all your other channels that you could plug into, so obviously 12 in total. The first 8 you'll see look different. Those are a combo. They could either be XLR like these or 1/4 inch inputs. So that's good if you have people coming in just like plugging a guitar straight in and stuff like that. So that's what those are. That's what those are used for. So again, if you want to use the projector, the DVD player, all that sort of stuff, you know, just hit the on button like normal. Make sure that the DVD player's on. And then you control that like normal. You just want to make sure that you have the Extron volume knob turned up. That's all there is to it. So that's how you'll do it. Obviously, when you have a live band in here, you'll just plug in, and 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3. You can mix from there. I'll put links to the other tutorials that Soundcraft makes for this mixer, so you can see some of the extra stuff you could do. You know, like say for example, channel 1. If you go to edit and you're on channel 1, you could go to an EQ and say it's a female vocalist. You could go to preset and check female vocalist, and it'll do that. You could also go to the effects settings if you want to add some reverb, or you want to add some echo or whatever. You could do that too. So it's really full featured. It's a full featured mixer. It's just there's no physical board. It's just the console and then the GUI interface here. Then to get back to your mixing, you just hit edit. Gain is done here. I'll turn off high Z for now. So if you have somebody coming in with their own stuff, they have like a condenser microphone. Each channel has phantom power. You could turn that on. You could adjust the gain here, obviously. So tons of different things that you can do on this console. Again, it is full featured console, and I'll have some links for it in the description of this video. So now let's walk through shutting it down. Obviously, if you have a DVD in or whatever, you'll want to take that out, power down the DVD player. But before you turn off anything in the rack, before you turn off the rack, you got to turn off your subwoofers first. You don't want those sitting just wired. The power doesn't sound great in here. It sounds like there's a little maybe grounding issue in the building, so I would turn those off first. So what you do is you just go back, you hit the blue buttons, switch them down, and that's all there is to it. And then in reality, you should probably turn your amp to your main speakers off first, and then that way you don't hear the pop. And then when you go back through to turn everything on, start with the rack here, next on your amp, and then your subwoofers. So you always go in reverse order from startup to shutting down. So again, to start up, you'll start with the rack, turn on the first amp, and then turn on the subwoofers. And then to turn everything off, turn off the subwoofers, turn off the amp, and then turn off the rack. And that's all there is to it. So I'm leaving this cable for you guys. I'll just keep it coiled up right here, and then everything else is already plugged in. As of today, we haven't received all of your microphones, so when those come in, we'll let you know. We did, however, get your bass drum microphone, so that's here. So you'll want to keep that in a safe place. I'll put it on top of Monopoly for right now. So if you have any questions, please let me know. But otherwise, you guys are good to go ahead and play like DVDs or just regular music or whatever. So enjoy.